Hello. Hopefully this works. I think it does. This is just going to be a basic stream where I'm just... I was going to do video for this, but my video editor software right now is just not working properly. So, yeah. If you see this in the chat, then feel free to just ask any questions. I'm keeping it somewhat open, although not quite at the same time. And yeah, so Mega Diancie, not Meta. Marshadow deserves talking about a bit. What else do I feel like I should talk about? The Tapus, so I'll put Tapu Lele there to just advertise that to myself. This isn't meant to be a competitive team or anything for anyone watching this back on YouTube. What else would I quite like to talk about? I kind of want to, I don't know, I'll leave it to those. Stall. I'll also talk about Stall a little bit. And Arceus forms, which ones are good, which ones are bad right now. And then lastly, I think I'll talk about Pidon a little bit. So yeah, hello to the two people that are watching right now. Welcome. And if you want to ask anything, then now's going to be an ideal time to do it. Otherwise, I'll just get started talking about stuff like Mega Diancie. Because I've been taking a little break from Ubers, actually. You can actually tell based on these teams and stuff. Most of them you've already seen in terms of Joey's lives, and I've not built since this one for Ubers. So been taking a little bit of a break. Been getting back into it though, so that's good. Motivation rejoining. And yeah, so Mega Diancie. There's a few... Mega Diancie's had a bit of an impact coming into the meta, in my opinion. First of all, it basically means that Adamant Lucario is a thing of the past, in my opinion. I wouldn't run Adamant Lucario in this meta at all, just because everything is now faster. Even if Support Arceus now running to outspeed Jolly Lucario anyway. But even if they weren't, I think that like they'd run to outspeed Diancie and stuff. Diancie got a lot better in the shift to Sun and Moon rather than Oras though. Things like Magnet Rise, as I've already put on there. Stealth Rock is now an actual option, because now it no longer needs Protect, and that's obviously very good for it. Magnet Rise means that obviously Groudon can't deal with it as well as it used to be able to. Stealth Rock is a good option, of course, and Fairy and Earth, a Rock even coverage, and it got Power Gem too, so that's good. Those two things are really, really valuable for Diancie right now, and it's another good balance crusher, in my opinion. You can run things like... More people are joining, and yet still no one is saying anything. Hello to everyone. If you're watching, please say hi. So yeah, I feel like Mega Diancie is quite good. Obviously it's not like amazing good, because it's still got a number of drawbacks, things like this being quite an well, not quite an offensive meta, but the offense in this meta is too much for Diancie. It can't really do anything in those matchups. And against Stall, there's stuff like Toxapex and Ferrothorns that Diancie's just never really going to get past. But I think it's personally quite good. Not amazing, but quite good nonetheless. Magnet Rise is what I think is my favourite set at the moment, Stealth Rock being second. I have also tried briefly a Calm Mind set with just regular 3 attacks. It kind of encountered the same problem though, in that there's not really an amazing matchup for that. Like, yeah, I guess balance, but even then, like, balance isn't ideal with it. And hello to Dougal3 and Benjamin McKinsey. I can see your messages now. But yeah, Calm Mind was just... didn't really do enough. Like, in the matchups, it was just okay. It wasn't bad, but I don't overall think it ever did anything that just regular 3 attacks would have done, which is just a bit of unfortunate, really. It's definitely hurt by the fact that Arceus Ground is now undisputably better than Arceus Water. Just because things are... Arceus Ground is faster than it, normally, unless you want to lose to Lucario. Arceus Water used to never be faster than it, and you could use to chip it away with things like Modest Moonblast and things like that. That's another thing, actually. I think I would run this Modest. Like, maybe not this exact set, because I don't think Carmine is amazing in this meta, but I think that Modest Mega Diancie is actually quite good, so let's just Stealth Rock there. Curious to see if anyone else has any big opinions on Mega Diancie in terms of the impact that they think it's had on the meta. But I personally quite like it. It's not the best Mega. In my opinion, that's still Gengar, followed by Lucario, followed by Mence. That's actually something else to talk about though, Mence, later on. And then after Mence comes Diancie for me. But there's just too many things that just stop it from really being as effective as I think I'd hoped it would be. Just the combination of things like Toxapex, Ferrothorn on Storlia teams that you'd think Diancie would do decently against, and offensive teams having things like Marshadow, which can just bully past it, and there's a plane that's flying incredibly close. That's unfortunate. Rock Polish to beat offensive teams, I tried that, but I didn't ever find the room to set up on an offensive team, because like, what are you setting it up on? I guess maybe like maybe Deoxys Speed if you're playing one of those teams, but even then they'll normally have screens, so that's not ideal. And what's more, even in offensive teams, you've got things like Xerneas, you've got things like Groudon and Arceus forms that can always take a hit from Diancie, so it would be ideal as a late game cleaner, and you'll never get the opportunity to set up against offense for free unless you're pairing it with things like Memento and screens and stuff. And if you're going to do that, there's better offense breakers to go with, stuff like Geozern with 3 attacks and things like that. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on Diancie. I mean, Rock Polish Carmine seems like okay until you realize that it's never setting up both of them, and you don't ever want to only set up one of them. The dual coverage between Moonblast and Power Gem is nice, but misses out on a few crucial things like Pedon and stuff like that. So, also the fact that it's relatively not bulky as well. 50, 100, 10, 110, that's not really bulky, especially for Ubers. So yeah, just kind of more lackluster than I'd hoped it would be. But it's still not bad by any stretch of the imagination, just not very good either, unfortunately. Hang on one second, I need to quickly just go and sort something out. I hope you guys will be okay. And I'm back, so didn't have to wait that long, which is good. What on earth was I saying? If anyone was watching and could tell me what I was saying, that would probably help me. I was probably about to move on from Diancie, I think, to Marshadow. Marshadow is still amazing. I actually love the effect that Marshadow has had on this meta. I feel like it's just nerfed all of the brain dead stuff. So the old brain dead stall and the old brain dead offense have just been annihilated by the presence of Marshadow. E-Killer especially, the how much worse E-Killer has gotten has been so good for offensive teams, in terms of like Marshadow based teams and things like that, and to the point where I'd actually say that Marshadow is one of the best things that has happened to Ubers this generation, if not for a long time. Checking so many SD and setup forms of Arceus, pushing the meta more towards a balance thing, while also aiding offense, and requiring somewhat specific counterplay in terms of stall to nerf the brain dead versions of that were going on around before its release. I think that Marshadow is just amazing, and I love it so much. I'm uncertain actually if they ever actually made it higher than it used to be in terms of on the viability rankings. Not logged in, of course, but oh well. Because I remember that there was this one guy who was arguing against it rising up to A+. I believe his name was Kilometer Man. And I just disagreed because nope, it's still not up there with Yveltal, which I think is just ridiculous. I think that it's at least as good as Yveltal, if not better. Marshadow is still good, but and still amazing in my opinion. It hasn't really been affected by the introduction of Mega Dynasty because Mega Dynasty doesn't exactly check it. It's just another mon and another team build that Marshadow does decently against. So Rock Tomb versus Hidden Power Ice. I'm curious to hear what people think about this. Like, which would you go for on a Life Orb Marshadow? For those watching in the stream, please let me know. For those watching when this goes live, I guess, just let me know in the comments, just because I'll find that quite interesting. It's what I personally enjoy. In terms of what I personally enjoy, rather, I definitely prefer Rock Tomb in this meta. Just because I'm fearful of Magic Sun teams. I've seen less Zygarde running around. I've seen a little bit more Ho-Oh and stuff. So I personally prefer Rock Tomb, Sneak, and Dual Stab in terms of Spectral, Thief, and CC. But it's still it's good either way, and obviously it depends on your team as well. Like if you've got things like setup mons. Hidden Power Rock I definitely don't like though, Caffeine. The reason being is mainly because the only thing I'm aiming to hit with that is Ho-Oh, and there's Rock Tomb that will do that for me anyway. It'll hit pretty much all the same time. It means I don't need to go with a negative defense nature so that other Marshadow can kill me with Shadow Sneak from full. It means that Rock Tomb also denies me the opportunity to lower my opponent's speed if that's necessary for me to win the game later on. Hidden Power Ice, and it also just misses out on the things that Hidden Power Ice does anyway. So no, I don't actually think it is the best of both worlds. I think that Hidden Power Rock is worse than Rock Tomb, which is better than Hidden Power Ice. So in terms of Hidden Power Ice versus Hidden Power Rock, I think I'd still go Hidden Power Ice though, just because with that you're aiming to hit the physically defensive mons like Mega Mence, like Zygarde and stuff, and those are the ones that you'll actually want to hit. So the other interesting topic is Z moves. Marshadow Z with Bulk Up. This is personally, I like using this set quite a lot. I think that it's obviously rated correctly because people know how much of a threat it is, but I genuinely feel like it's just very, very effective in almost every matchup. Versus Stall, you can get a +1 Soul Stealing 7-star strike off and pretty much pick up a kill on anything that isn't called Toxapex. And versus offense and stuff, just regular Marshadow on its own is pretty much enough to do its job for you. Against balance, again, you can get off the high-powered Z Spectral Thief, which is, in my opinion, very, very nice. It allows it to get past some of its usual checks and counters in the forms of stuff like Ho-Oh. So I actually feel like this is probably the best Marshadow set at the moment, as opposed to Life Orb. But again, like with Hidden Power Ice, it depends on my team. If I've got another Z move user, then normally I won't go with that. Apparently people are getting buffering. What's wrong? What's the matter with it? Why is my stream health that low? Bad video output. Well, that's not ideal. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. I'm not receiving enough buffering. Don't tell me that my OBS isn't working as well as my Camtasia. Fuck's sake. Hopefully this will work fine in terms of just making as a video. So yeah, I feel like this is the best Marshadow set at the moment. Hi Riv. I can see you now, but like, what is going on? Why is my stream health this low? You know what? I'm gonna end this now while it's this bad, just because I don't know why it's this bad. It shouldn't be. Like, let me just check something. I don't understand why my internet isn't working properly. I'm getting good internet now. I'm getting 60 odd MBS. So why is the stream failing? Fuck's sake. The audio is fine, but the video isn't. So I'm gonna call this a video for now. I'll see if I can fix this.